Hello fiber folks, my name is Trent, I'm the Weftrite, and welcome to my studio here in the mountains of western North Carolina. I had a short video for you today showing you how I built my skein winder. This is not necessarily a tutorial, but it's just some tips and tricks if you want to build your own or you want to show this video to someone to build one for you. These are just things that I found were really helpful on the one that I built. You may notice the lighting's a little bit differently. I'm trying some different things here, so excuse me while I play a little bit. Also hoping to get a new microphone next month when I get a little bit more money. But so for this video, I'm going to keep it short. It's not necessarily a tutorial, but definitely some great tips and tricks for a wonderful tool, which I have right behind me, which is my skein winder that I use for both winding hand spun yarn and also winding skeins for dyeing. So this is the unit as is. It's built of a fairly sturdy plank that I think is a true 1x, like it's actually 1 inch as opposed to 3/4. It's of a nice grade pine. You could use a heavier wood, which would make it even more stable. And then it's got this peaked kind of stand right here. This is just screwed into the base, and I think I did a lap joint right there to make sure that that worked out well and is stable. And then as far as attaching it to the table, what I do originally, as you see here, I drilled a hole in it so that you could use one of those little L-shaped clamps that come with a lot of winders and stuff. But it's just so much quicker just to use a spring clamp to stabilize it. The crossbeam is done with a lap joint as well. Didn't get it exactly right, so there's a little bit of an edge there. I was using some pretty primitive equipment when I made this. And then to hold it, there are no bearings or anything. It's literally just a long carriage bolt that I have put a washer to hold it to the wood easily, and then a bunch of locking nylock nuts to give me a spacer, and then a washer and another nylock nut, and it's just not tightened down a lot so that it spins pretty easily. Obviously you could go a lot more complicated and put some bearings or bushings in there, but this has worked out for me well as much as I use it. I mainly use it for skeining commercial yarns to dye, but I also use it to skein my hand spuns. What you'll notice is that I have created holes with a spade bit, and that allows me to move these pegs in. Right now it's set up for a 2-yard skein, which means that the distance between these arms right here is 18 inches. So that way 18 and 18 make 1 yard, and then another 18 and 18 make another yard. But if I want to, I can simply use this this wing nut to move this in, and I can get a 1-yard skein. And then this is a feature that you may want to add. I have created this arm a little bit longer, which balances the weight of the turning handle, and then also allows me to make it a little bit wider so that I can accommodate for the tension and the shrinkage, so it really is an accurate, closer to an accurate 2-yard warp. Or I can make this a little bit smaller, but this is a feature I don't use very often, I'll be honest with you. But because I can make it smaller, it would go into that 1-yard warp range if I wanted to. The handle is simply just a bolted on piece of dowel that I've sanded around the edge so that when I'm holding it with my hand, it's not uncomfortable. In addition, I have added these eye screws to work as tension. As you see, I did not measure these. They are not beautiful and accurate, but they work really well. And you can usually just use one eye screw to make sure that it lines up with the center of your rod. And that way it is in the right place. And I'll demo this in just a second. But I also have an eye screw on the end here that helps me put a cone on the ground if I want to and feed up through there. The thing that really makes it work is the This is an odometer, speedometer that's meant for a bike. I bought this cheap at Walmart. In fact, everything that I'm using for this you can buy locally at the hardware store or big box store. And you have a transmitter here, a little sensor. It's called a Hall effect sensor when it's a magnet tripping a sensor. I wish I had bought a wired version. This is a wireless version. The wireless version, you have to keep putting a little watch battery in when it runs low. They usually last me a year or so. And then you've got this little magnet on the back, and every time you rotate a full rotation, it's hard to do this with a camera, it trips the sensor. So to make this count, how these are set is you usually you set this to the size of your tire on your bike, and that's in millimeters. And so if you wanted to count every rotation, you would set it to 1,000 millimeters, and that way every time you went around, it would just click as one rotation. But what I've done, because I've got a 2-yard skein, is I have it set to 500 millimeters, which advances. So right now it's at 26 yards. And you'll notice this is 0.0 whatever. Thankfully, we're in the metric system, so each of these decimal places is accurate um, for yards. So what I can do is reset that, and then every time I rotate fully, it'll mark 2 yards. Whoop. So I don't have to worry about counting, I can just watch. So as you see, I've got 24 yards imaginary on there right now. So now let's do a little demo with a cone of yarn. I think it'll work well. So what is out of shot right now is I have a cone of yarn on the floor. I'm going to thread it up through my eye screws. You could also just use nails to create the tension, but you do need an eye screw at the end so that it can redirect up toward the skein winder. So I'm going to use all of my tension screws. It doesn't add a lot of tension, but just enough. And then I always start here. I like to wrap my yarn around the back side where the little wing nut is. Then I'll reset my counter and just start winding. So I've already wound 30 yards. As I said, it's up to you. If you're going to be changing your skein sizes a lot, as I said, this can do a 2-yard skein or a 1-yard skein, then I would recommend just keeping it set at 1. It's a little annoying to get into the menu and change the settings. So that's at 1,000 millimeters is what you would set that at, and it would just count every rotation. But I always use it at 2 yards. All right, let's see. We're already up to, let's go to 140. So it works very quickly. So we have a little 140-yard skein, and I'm going to, let me find my scissors. Going to cut that, and then I have this which I wound around. I can do your regular things, right? You're gonna want to tie that into a knot for your beginning, and then you'll do your figure eights and all that. If I were gonna use this for dyeing, I would keep my figure eights pretty loose, and I would put one in in every section. So I'd have one here, one here, one here, and one here. I'm not going to do that for today. Another benefit of having this one on a slider is if you're having trouble getting this off, this is not a very tight skein, but I could loosen this and slide it in to help me loosen the tension. But then you just slide it off and you have your perfect, 2-yard skein. So this is how I store my unit. As you see, it's pretty big, but it fits well on the wall. And so what I've done is it's just a simple screw with an anchor that holds the peak, and then I've got a screw there and there, which allows me to make sure that this is square, so I can actually use this as kind of a little shelf if I need to. Works very well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. I definitely recommend building one of these if you don't have one. They take up a little bit of space, but as you see, they're pretty easy to mount on a wall because it's only about 6 or 8 inches deep, so it's pretty easy to mount. But I love mine. It works really well for my purposes. If you were doing this industrially, I would probably recommend buying one, or at least making one with bearings or bushings to make sure that it doesn't wear into the wood. Please subscribe. I love to hear your comments as well, so give those to me. If you have any questions, please put those in the comments, or you can contact me through social media. The links are going to be down below. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.